Good day, Ocarina of Time Randomizer fans! Welcome to another Ocarina of Time Season 5 Randomizer race! So, we have a tournament match versus RyuuKane and Hamsda. And here is your wonderful side screen showing the last few matches. I will let our wonderful commentators, Matt and August 40th, talk about this. One more thing, just shout out to our awesome trackers. We have B. Luigi and Kason here that will be doing your tracking for this race. Take it away, you two commentators.
Thanks so much, sir. How you doing, Matt?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm looking forward to this matchup here. Two great runners. Hamsda has been with us, pretty sure, Season 1. RyuuKane a little bit newer, but has proven himself to be a contender. Really exciting to see them in weekly matches. But as you see from the stats screen, these guys have not faced off on a 1v1.
Yeah, also given the fact that they're facing off in the lower bracket shows how competitive the scene has become in the recent years. There are seeds 53 and 44, while you might...
Yeah, this is definitely one of those closer matchups. Looking forward to seeing who's maybe playing a little riskier than the other one.
Yeah, it's going to be a very close match regardless. Both have the capabilities to win races. I think Hamsda won one of the qualifications, number 10 out of 18. So I'm hyped.
Matt, you looking for another all-D one like you did yesterday?
Well, maybe for my personal health, it would be better if they don't make it until the 4-hour mark again. But yeah, what happens, happens. We'll stay until the end, of course.
Yeah, I can't imagine that happens to RyuuKane or Hamsda this seed. But definitely some hype matches been going on the last few days.
I do know that RyuuKane has been a little unlucky with his S5 experience so far. Also in the match that he lost against the Aeronaut, he managed to skip the hookshot for a long time. So we will see if that happens again.
You can see from RyuuKane's file name, he might be looking to switch randomizers. Some playing a little Wind Waker rando earlier.
That's how we know RyuuKane, always in for a joke, even if he's on the losing side of the match. He is going to make it an exciting race, I'm sure of this.
Now, we do know we're starting off as a child, but have to wait another 12 seconds.
Are we ready, chat? Where are we spawning today?
Oh, good starting spot. Temple of Time.
Temple of Time start. You like to see it. That means we'll probably get a prelude very soon.
Nah, prelude on OOT. Let's go. 40 something, catching big.
Ooh, that's very juicy already. 50 is
40s.
strength.
Oh, okay, 40 and 50 hints, but 50's a strength upgrade, a second strength upgrade.
And there's also strength on water BK, so we already know two of the strength locations.
Interesting.
I've never seen something like this before.
Yeah, big info right away. Don't think we've checked the pedestal yet.
Yeah, that's something you usually will do as an adult, because then you have more information than when you check it as a child.
However, with the Water Temple boss key chest, I think that requires you to have all the small keys. So depending on where the keys are, that strength might be strength locked. Let's see how the seed plays out.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. So it will be interesting to keep track of the logic. Water key logic is always tricky, similar to spirit key logic.
Not too surprising seeing both runners going straight for Lon Lon Ranch. Minuet very tempted to play it right out of here. Also, one of these runners might be tempted to make a quick stop off at the valley.
Yeah, so that is one of the main decisions already after they finish London Ranch. Are they doing the Valley Lake play, which I think RyuuKane is not a fan of? Or are they just playing Minuet and get the song and move from there?
What's our dowry for the seed? $5.
So I'm not sure whether any of you noticed, but the checksum of the seed had two chickens in it. So maybe that promises something for where the items are. I always like to think so.
I don't think these runners are afraid to do some chickens.
Yeah, the meta seems to be to avoid chickens until late game, or until if the seed's coming up dry, then we might also see an early chickens. Otherwise, I'm not too hopeful.
Oh, that's not the greatest song. Song time.
That does help with the water key logic, which we were just talking about.
Yeah, very true, very true.
Mask on. So far, the runners have been doing exactly the same thing, and they're still doing the same thing.
Yeah, apparently for these two runners, it's a straightforward seed.
So finding Serenade here makes the Valley Lake play even less likely. They might just use Serenade to go to Lake immediately and skip Valley.
Yeah, kind of a dry start. Serenade, Song Time.
Yeah, all of our items are just hinted somewhere deep in the seed, so yeah, what do you expect?
Yeah, we do have some juicy info. Cack and Shadow Temple paths.
Kek path to Volve, okay.
Our first divergence. Big
Also-
Goron leads to what?
Furor's Wind on Big Goron.
Interesting.
So all items are on hints, I guess, today.
Hey, here's a big chest. It's a Kiri sword.
French Vanilla Kokiri Sword.
Yeah, we're gonna get prior season metas with open Dekushi right away.
So that does mean that we probably are not going to see Furor's Wind. Although yesterday the Big Goron item, the what is it again? It was just next to Big Goron. You just had to hand it in right there.
The Summit Fairy?
Yeah, and the Summit Ferry, there was the claim check that was placed there. So if you wanted to do Big Goron, it was just right there.
Very nice.
So yeah, if that's the scenario today, then we get to see Furor's. Otherwise, we may not.
I always like having Furor's Wind. Also helps to have some magic, but it's a very underrated item, I think.
It's definitely worth going a little bit out of your way for it. It might help you save time.
Those are Jabu Hint School of Stingers. Not gonna bait us today.
And Hamsda opting to go to Deco immediately. Ryu prefers to do some attacks in Lost Woods first.
Yeah, Ryu still hasn't been into Mido's house. He's gonna see that Kokiri sword, and I can't imagine him doing anything else. Especially starting with that Goron Ruby. Very likely Deku Tree has another just another medallion for us to get him again. Is there a path?
Yeah, and even if they knew that Execo was a stone, I also believe that they would also do it at this point. Just too fast and too good to skip. See, that's also been pretty empty so far.
Yep. Seen Hamda going for the second hint around the Deku Tree. Seen a lot of people skip this one in Season 5 here. Not a fan of that play.
That's actually a good hint to get. Storms on Burning Keg. That makes you want to prioritize the medallions required for Burning Keg.
Maybe. Might be nicer to see those later in the seed.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 times you don't really have much choice which dungeons you do in which order. Still haven't found anything else besides the Kokiri Sword.
First 3 chests, nothing.
And there's our second bit of health. We're already on 5 hearts, which is usually enough to beat Volvagia without Tunic.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised though, seeing these runners open a few more chests, looking for some bomb chews.
That's definitely one aspect of the game where top runners might disagree with each other. Do we open small chests, and when do we stop? Are we looking for chews, or are we just rushing? Looks like there's a big chest in the room Hamsda is in.
Yeah. Sporting that Keaton mask. You love to see it.
Or he's just looking for skulls already, which makes total sense.
Put your mask back on, bro. Style points.
Yeah, RyuuKane is definitely behind on style points. But let's talk about the strength for a little bit more. I feel like with the strength on Water Biggie chest, it might actually be locked behind the strength on 50, so I don't think you can skip too much skulls.
Yeah, you're really going to want to play hard for those skull flows.
Hamsda's screen is a little bit glitching out for me. How is that on your side?
Yeah, same for me. A little bit of a PowerPoint slideshow.
I'll just be watching, waiting patiently for the stream to get back up.
RyuuKane essentially is just behind the time that it takes to get the scrub by the Lost Woods Bridge. Otherwise, they are neck and neck.
Decision making has been very straightforward up until this point. Yeah, the question is will we get to see the first part of diversion?
I think after Deku Tree, we're very likely to see them save warp back to the market. We do the checks there. But it's time to go adult.
I can also imagine to see the lake play. But it's going to be either one of those choices. I agree with that. Do we have Hamsda back already?
Not on my end.
Okay, I imagine that he is on Goma already, or has beaten Goma.
Alright, let's see what the queen's got for us. Are you with a nice one cycle, 2-nut strategy?
Yeah, these runners are so skilled that Goma is just an easy quick kill for them. I believe there's a strategy where you use one nut and there's a strategy where you don't use a nut, which is slightly harder but also slightly faster.
Unfortunately, Deku Tree, nothing here.
Yeah, we might just have to beat Ganon with the Kokiri Sword then. There's no items in the game.
And getting a light medallion, so not the best of medallions, but good to get it out of the way.
Yeah, this medallion does not really help with getting any extra songs or extra items. Any of the other 5 would. Chat seems to be also very conflicted as to who is going to win this race. We do get to see the Lake Hylia play from RyuuKane before he's going back to Temple of Time.
I think the statistics bear out RyuuKane as the favorite. Going off the last 10 races, Ryu has been top 10 90% of that time out of the top 10. 9 of those 10 races, he's been in the top 10. 8 of those, he's been in the top 3. And 6 of those, he's been in the top 3. And Hamsda, on the other hand, he's only been top 10 6 out of his last 10 races. Has taken home the gold 2 out of the top 10, out of the last 10, as opposed to Ryu's 3. But very evenly matched. But I think ever so slightly, Ryu's gotten an edge.
Yeah, I fully agree with the prediction.
Oh, that's a nice item.
That's our first good item. Of course, after the Kokiri Sword, that we can actually start doing things.
Yeah, you're right. The coming here, the lake, definitely paying out.
Yeah, I think a general idea is to try to minimize the age changes. So try to do as much as you can when you are a child, and then do as much as you can when you are an adult. And unless, of course, you have guidance where you should go next.
And that bomb bag gives us one extra place to stop off here in the market. Do a very early bomb shoe balling.
It's slightly surprising to me that RyuuKane does not do some of the Hyrule Field checks already. He might do it as an adult. With the bomb bag, you can do a couple of things additionally to what you could normally do.
Yeah, that I think would have been a pretty safe play going South Hyrule. Gonna pull wallet here.
Yeah, the wallets are nice to have. You can buy a Goron tunic once. It's already in logic to buy one.
Are you 1 rupee short of his 60th bowl?
Yeah, what not many people know is that there are actually a few rupees there on top of the Chu bowling house.
Yeah, good to keep in mind when you're short a handful. Unfortunately, it's junk.
But this might be one of those moments where you might want to check the second hint stone, although night is turning in fast.
Sacred Forest Meadow.
Okay, so does that mean there's actually a slingshot then in the grotto?
Either that or our minuet song leads us to a slingshot.
Oh, that's actually also very possible.
Think about those chaining effects.
Yeah, so the path system is, of course, a new addition to the Season 5 tournament. I think it has been received pretty well, but it also makes the logic sometimes a bit harder to interpret.
You've been very thorough and efficient getting all the checks done that you can here in the market. And save warping, I think, back to the Temple of Time and time to be adult.
That will also give us information on the medallions.
Do apologize for the one-sided stream. Unfortunately, Hamsda having a bit of internet kerfuffles, as the internet goes.
All right, what are we doing today?
Fire Spirit Water Forest.
I'm always amazed by how fast these runners can pick up the dungeons they have to do. Maybe there's some trick to it. That's actually a very nice spawn there in Kakariko village.
Now let's see if Minuet is nice with Sun Song. Nope.
So that could possibly mean a slingshot locked behind Seria's song. The other song we got was Serenade, so that doesn't lock anything. We'll get to see the grotto here, then we can... then we expect... It's definitely something I would like to follow, because the slingshot can also be locked behind another item.
Big chest right here. What have we got? Oh, not the shooting device we were expecting.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Even if it wasn't the slingshot, then I would assume that it could also be another item that locks the slingshot. So that's the nice thing about paths.
Yeah, paint out for him here in the meadow.
And that bow gives us an extra check in Kakariko, which is on the path to Volvagia.
All right, we got our bow, we got our bombs. Nothing else we need for Fire Temple except the hammer. Maybe those iron boots, but
Well, we do need a strength logically for Fire Temple as well.
right. That would be something.
Yeah, if the strength is in Kakariko, then we know all the strength locations. So RyuuKane is pulling off a trick that's been recently discovered, that you can use the bow to shoot through the stones here.
Yeah, apparently the fairy bow shoots arrows too fast for the boulder's hitboxes.
Even after all these years, we're still finding new tricks.
Not finding anything here in Goron City. RyuuKane saying, I got somewhere else to be. Oh, there we go.
And it's just a bait, so no Stone of Agony today.
Get those big bait chests out of the way.
The more bait we find in the early game, the less annoyed we are going to be in the end game when we see all those big chests coming up empty.
Are you wasting no time? This is gonna set his time of day. I think it's to noon, so we'll be able to do those adult CAC checks. I think this is working out really well for RyuuKane.
Yeah, I'm equally impressed with how RyuuKane is doing this so far. He doesn't seem to have made any mistakes. It would be nice if we could get Hamsda back at some point. I'm still having a blur here.
Yeah, it's turned into a one-man show. RyuuKane, one of the best to watch. Definitely make sure you go give both these runners a follow.
But RyuuKane is pulling up a good show so far, so I don't mind watching his screen for most of the time.
Yeah, he is a machine. He did a practice seed way earlier, and then he did some Wind Waker rando, and now he's here doing his tournament match.
Yeah, RyuuKane has also actively been playing other versions of Zelda. I also remember he played some. What was the game for the DS? Minish Cap. He's also playing Minish Cap recently.
Oh, very cool. Does look like we have Hamsda back. He's in the Lost Woods doing some grotto excavation.
All right, let me refresh. And indeed, I can confirm I also have Hamsda back right now.
Yeah, not too far behind RyuuKane. I think someone in chat was saying that Hamsda was doing some of the Hyrule field checks. That's why he appears slightly behind.
Yeah, that will of course be hard to verify.
He is, though. He's gonna stop in Goron City, getting some of these checks that Ryu skipped just moments earlier.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the trackers have the same information as we do, or that they maybe know more, but at least the trackers show the same items for me.
Yeah, I can't imagine him missing out on that bow.
No, but I meant if he's doing some field checks in the meanwhile, he might have found an item there.
Right, very true. First foolish hint.
Lost Woods Foolish. Okay, you love to see it. I believe both runners almost cleared or full cleared Lost Woods, except maybe 1 or 2 checks.
No, I think they managed to dodge the Ocarina minigame as well as Skull Kid.
Yeah, that's actually a thing that recently I've seen people doing that, skipping the Ocarina minigame. Doesn't always work out well. And RyuuKane going to the back of the ADC to get the skull.
And Hamsda taking us into the crater.
We don't have Arbors and we don't have the hookshot yet, so we are not able to reach the song location.
Now I think he's thirsty for some hint stones. Some out of the way hint stones too.
I think I believe we're missing some foolish hints. Maybe one more path hint.
Also looking for that Ocarina of Time hint as we find a big chest here in the grotto. Ooh, shiny.
30 is dead as well. That's a mirror shield, that looks very useful.
Is required. And we know where 2 of our strength upgrades are.
They're both locked very far away in the seed. One on 50 and one on the big key in water. We haven't got any items for Water Temple so far.
Yeah, it's looking a little nicer for that Storms on Burning Cack. The later the Spirit Temple is, the better for us, I think.
I just seen on Hamsda's side that the Spirit Temple is foolish.
Ooh, very nice Foolish Temple hint.
That's actually a pretty big hint indeed.
Of course, there can always be some shenanigans with Requiem being required because of Child Spirit checks.
RyuuKane quickly took a break there. He's now back on his chair.
He needs some coffee or whatever he's drinking there.
But with the information we have so far, we might be in for a long ride.
Yeah, seeing these runners do a little flip-flopping. Looking forward to seeing what's in Kakariko Village. Path to Volvagia.
Ryu has managed to pick up 11 skulls, so he will be able to check the first skull item.
Very nice. Fortunately, missing out on that free shield.
Well, he has plenty of bucks, so he's not going to be too disappointed.
But the fans.
Okay, we get to see adult Kakariko at the half an hour mark.
They are looking good on health. Maybe a few more small chests. But yeah, I think we're going to stop opening those up.
Okay, so we haven't seen any check left here.
Ooh, a silver scale.
I think we have our answer. The hammer.
Oh, that's not a scale.
That's definitely path to Volvagia.
There we go. Sphere 0. It's hammer time.
Chat disappointed that the hammer is not on chickens.
I like seeing Requiem though.
Graveyard is also path, so we probably get to see another progression item here.
Will not see a whole lot of the second repeat of Dodonga Cap.
That's another one of those bait chests out of the way. And that's a good point. Bow is not path in SFM.
Yeah, not with that Sphere 0 bow.
So that makes me want to check out the Seria's locked checks, because they might not only lock the slingshot, but they might actually, the path might be longer than that.
What you thinking? Darunia or Frogs 2?
Oh yeah, Lost Woods was foolish, so yeah. Yeah, we haven't seen a Frogs 2 hint, right?
Not yet. Oh no, we have, according to VXR.
Okay, we have seen. Okay, then it must be Dancing Dead. That holds some sort of progression. Possibly the slingshot, possibly something else.
Power of deduction. Ooh, vanilla? And the light arrows.
Tempe holding all the goods.
Alright, well, Triss, you lost this seed.
He might, yeah, he wouldn't have to come back for the hint, because he would have done Water Temple in the meanwhile. Maybe I should refresh again. Oh, Hamsda is back. Okay, never mind.
Luigi getting me on a technicality.
Okay, what are we missing to do more dungeons? Strength would be nice for Forest.
Well, we can jump into the Fire Temple. Nothing's stopping us in there. Technically strength, but we know where those are, so it's all good.
Yeah, strength it might be logically required to beat Fire Temple, although these runners don't need it. They can use a glitchless jump to go past the block.
Ooh, double Ds.
We're definitely good on health. Although double defense does not help with the timer in Fire Temple.
Yeah, but we've got a wallet if these runners are worried about that fight. This is our final check here in CAC sets chickens. 20.
So we have indeed not seen a bottle yet, so if they opt to do Fire Temple, they will probably buy the Goron Tunic.
Alright, Ryu looking for some songs.
Hamsda also completing the second dungeon and is now equal in medallions as RyuuKane. We don't get to do much in Spirit Temple without these strengths.
Ooh, but Zelda's Lullaby is a nice pickup out here.
Yeah, obviously that's one of the most important songs in the game. It allows you to do many things, almost in almost every place. RyuuKane checking the Death Colossus that was hunting him in the previous match, which ended him up here.
Well, you never forget the same spot twice.
So the situation was that he didn't have his bomb back yet. He had 2 chews left, and he wanted to save the chews and reversed Wasteland and skipped this check here. And it had the long shot. Actually, it had his hook shot.
$20 today.
Okay, where are we heading? Are we heading to fire now?
No, back into the graveyard, going to the Royal Tomb.
That makes perfect sense. Get an additional song. Can be any song at this point.
I think he's looking for Bolero.
Yeah, that would give a quick way to enter Fire Temple. RyuuKane is doing the Composer's Grave as an adult, so he will not be able to check the chest here.
Lord Xenu, I didn't say that. I said Hamsda was having some internet kerfuffles. It's easy to get those two words confused, I know.
And that's Nocturne in the Composer's Grave.
Yeah, we do have Shadow Temple Path Hint. Path to Morpha.
Oh, right. So Shadow might even lock our strength in Water Temple. So far, we haven't got any items for the Shadow starting pack. We don't have Dins, don't have Hovers, don't have Magic.
I definitely swear, but kerfuffle is a technical term.
Also, special shoutouts to VXR, who is always keeping track of the number of skulls that are in Logic with our current equipment.
And shout out to Cemetery, almost the sole provider of the restreams here for Season 5. At least all the ones that I've done, I think.
And your sole provider of very hilarious hints.
Thank you for the compliment, Hookie Cookie.
ASMR stream when?
Aren't all Zooter streams ASMR streams?
Oh, good one.
So RyuuKane is doing Adult Lake. I suppose he's also doing the field checks after that he could also have done as a child. It's also very useful to have Pierre set before you go into Fire Temple.
Yeah, always can't be trusting that French scarecrow.
we don't have the long shot yet, so the runners will not be able to do a glitch called pixel shot, which allows you to circumvent Pierre.
Good news. Ooh, bomb choose. That's good news.
There are some soldiers on the lab.
Good news about Hamsda's power pointing is that because he did some checks in Goron City, he's just following RyuuKane's footsteps.
Yeah, it does look that RyuuKane is a little bit ahead from where I stand. Of course, it's way too early in the sea to call anyone as a winner. Not even close to that point so far.
Yeah, thankfully, a lot of zootering still left to go.
So Forest Temple always helps out a bit with the skulls. So he's now on 12. He will be on 16 or 17 after Forest is done.
Not only is there another Zooter match later this evening right here on ZSR, some hype matches going on. Right now, Zoro 275 is featuring Floosh versus Skyward. Be sure to check that out after this match. And later tonight, Marco versus El Gachua.
Yeah, especially in the early rounds, there's of course so many players still in the tournament, and there's just Zooter every half an hour. You gotta have like 4 or 6 screens in order to follow everything.
Nah, just a couple of chunks of hours in the day. Always save those VODs for another day, another time.
It always feels a bit bad when you have to take all your holidays already in January. So there's a very interesting peak coming up on RyuuKane's side very shortly. Once he's made his way to the other side of the courtyard.
Trolled by the Octorok. Still playing hard for 50 skulls. Strength upgrade is our reward.
Hamsda just trailing a little bit behind. Also getting Nocturne right now. Following RyuuKane into Forest.
Yeah, of course, didn't quite see all of it, but I think Hamsda a little more efficient there in Kakariko Village.
So now we are starting Double Forest. Is this the moment where we start the 10-minute commercial break?
Just 2 small keys so far. There's a third.
And RyuuKane does have to drop down to get the key here. Can't skip any in Forest.
But we can skip out on Forest for now. The rest blocked behind a strength upgrade. I guess technically you could get the Floor Master chest and the Vanilla Boss key. Oh wait, no. Just the Floor Master chest.
Yeah, shoutouts to Kasinja for tracking Hamsda, which is very challenging given all the hiccups.
Few places we have not seen: Zora's River, Zora's Domain, both those fishy places are in logic. Ryu's gonna be picking up his mirror shield here. Really playing hard for these skulls. Alright, last week's
This skull is definitely in logic. Normally you would get it placing a beam, which is of course very slow. It would be nice to find a bottle at this point, then it will make the skull routing even easier. I'm starting to wonder, is this one of those seeds where there's like 50 skulls in logic for 50 on strength of 50?
I don't think quite yet, but we're getting close.
Those are among the hardest seeds where you don't have much choice which skulls you can take.
Wow, I didn't know there was a bomb tree set up for little Link the Goron like that.
Yeah, I believe there's also a juice thread for Hot Rodder as a child, which is very amazing to see always.
Yeah, no, I've seen that one. There are a couple nice strats that are pretty common as a child, but I don't think I've seen that one very often.
Yeah, it's a very nice strat. It saves a lot of time.
I got Hamsda back though, running smooth and clear. He's at Lake Hylia.
Yeah, I have seen Hamsda most of the time, but there were some pauses. But now he's smooth.
Looks like he did Forest Temple before Lake Hylia.
RyuuKane almost jumped into the volcano, but then then the cutscene for the song started.
Bonus song here in the crater.
RyuuKane indeed on the way to Mirror Shield. First we get to see the fairy.
This is our last check in the crater.
That does help in Fire Temple. Some additional seconds to not to die from the heat.
So Dampé with our hook shot, horse in the volcano. We can get over to GTG now.
Yeah, and we can also clear most of it. We have what is it? Song of Time.
Sun Song? Yeah, Sun Song is our Ocarina of Time. So that's interesting.
So again, we have a song on OOT that locks basically one check.
Yeah, thankfully Frogs 2 is dead, so not gonna come into play for that one.
We will see Shadow for sure in this seat because it's part of the path hints. We might not see Jabu. Never want to go there as a stone.
Well, one caveat for dodging shadow is if it's a wallet for key logic. I think the central pillar is the key.
Yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind. But the path is too strong to gamble that it's a wallet or any of the sort.
But are they strong in the light side or the dark side of the force?
That's a tough question.
Stay tuned here on CSR.
Is RyuuKane on the way to 20 skulls? Yes, he is.
And according to BXR, central pillar is just a bloopy.
So Areola, they didn't finish Forest because they needed strength to get past the strength block room.
Yeah, unlikely we're gonna find another strength deeper in there. One strength's on 50, the other is the Water Temple boss key chest.
My intuition says that there will be another strength available somewhere, and that the strengths that we know of are 2 and 3, but you can never be sure.
Hamsda making their way into the Fire Temple.
As far as I could see, he doesn't have a tunic.
Nope. And he's going Flare Dancer first.
Okay, what is the hint on Medicoron? It's the other OOT hint.
So those hints kind of in out of the way spots.
Yeah, there are many people who don't check these two hints, although they are so close together.
And it looks like Ryu is going to purchase a tunic.
I do think that missing out on the hint is not going to punish Hamsda very much. He has all the... You are also not going to be baited into doing AD if you don't have the items for it, so...
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, that would definitely be a plot twist.
I think Shadow does have a strength requirement in it, logically, right? I guess depending on keys.
Are you a fan of Fire Temple, Mr. August?
Oh yeah, I love the Burning Ring of Fire. We climb up, 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 and we just gotta get higher.
So you would like to see them go all the way up before bailing?
Oh yeah. This temple, it's a foolish thing.
Yeah, if your mentality is to beat the game quickly, which most of the runners have, then you usually bail whenever you can leave. But if your mentality is, let's prevent the worst possible time, then you just clear wherever you are.
Yeah, it's also not so bad with chest sizes matches content if your boss key is in the maze or vanilla map chest. At that point, you might be able to logic out where the last, one or two keys are. If you go just a little bit further, I think not too bad of a play.
Yeah, in my experience, a good number of seeds ends up being a casino for one item in the end, and then most of the time they have to get back into Fire Temple. So I wouldn't mind seeing one person completing Fire Temple before doing other things.
One thing's for sure, the path here has been pretty straightforward. Shot on Dampe, hammer in the windmill. Kakariko hinted path to Volvagia. And two very easy to get bows.
Yeah, I do believe we have seen most of our path hints being fulfilled, right? Maybe the slingshot on one of the Serias checks.
Yep.
Do we have all the path hints? I think we need one more path hint.
Well, we're definitely climbing up higher in the Fire Temple.
At least as long as they don't find the big key, they don't have to decide: am I leaving or am I am I bailing or am I completing? I mean,
Yeah, the eternal question in Randomizer: should I stay or should I go?
is Hamsda going to make it with 4 seconds left on the clock?
Should I stay or should I go now? By now, now.
Hamsda just making it on time with 1 second left.
I think he's doing a little buffering there. Not sure with the backflip or ocarina, but cutting it close.
Yeah, so good point from chat. So after everything we see after this point is technically out of logic.
I can sing Johnny Cash and not get DMC'd. That's how bad my voice is.
Who is getting Death Mountain cratered?
We fell into this temple known as fire. We climbed up, 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 and we still climbed up higher. And it burned, burned, burned. The temple fire. The temple fire.
That's some next level commentary.
Do my very best. Shoutouts to Matt right here, joining me in the commentary booth. Second time here on ZSR.
And I'm having a very good time.
Good to have you, dude. Finding a big Poe bottle here in the Fire Temple.
Just making one thing clear, chat. I'm not going to see. Okay, if we are on 1500 subs, then I'm going to sing. I think that is a fair deal. Okay, before this conversation gets more out of hand, let's turn our attention back to the race.
I want to hear a Wildfire by the Nylons.
I would have to study that song first. So did some of the runners get a big key already? I don't think I've seen it.
I think that's what Hamsda's doing here in the boss chamber.
Oh, did Hamsda get a big key already?
Must have.
Oh, was it all the way in map chest? Wow.
Yeah, it looks like the dungeon making the play for you. Here's the boss key. You cannot get any further.
Oh, this is map chest. Yeah, right. So we are strength locked and hovers locked at this point. The nice thing about Fire Temple is that we are getting a new song after we collect the medallion.
And I have orders from up on high. Shout outs to the trackers, especially Kinsda for tracking Hamsda's PowerPoint presentation. Always the worst part of work meetings. But like that, you blink and the dragon is defeated. We'll get to see a instant replay here on Ryu's side.
Almost simultaneous boss fights. One starts when the other finishes. So you have to drop like 7 bombs.
Yeah, I think it's... Is it 7?
I'm always
It might
confused
just
between
be 5
7
or
and 9. No, I think it's 2 less if you have the big stabby, the big orange sword.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Yep.
I think it's 7 for my...
Where do these runners head to next? Decisions are dwindling.
Yeah, there's actually not too much choice to...
We have not seen Zora's River, Zora's Domain, any of Gerudo Valley, Fortress, and training grounds are now open up to us.
The GGG play.
Of course, we do have Chaldron City and that path to Clean Goma to resolve. Very likely that I think it has to be Darunia. But does he have a slingshot or something that leads to the slingshot?
Yeah, if it's just a slingshot, you don't want to go child. If it's something else, then you would definitely want to go child. So my guess would be GTG first, and then C.
Hamsda did get that Sun Song, or that OOT hint. So he's not missing that valuable info. Both of them, 3 medallions in 65, 66 minutes in here. Keeping it close.
Yeah, runners are definitely neck on neck. They have done the same things. They have the same items. RyuuKane probably a little bit ahead on skulls.
Yeah, RyuuKane checking the 20 reward now. Ooh, second bomb bag.
There's another bomb bag, indeed. And now it's just collecting 50, because 30 and 40 are both dead. It's getting more and more likely that the 50 is actually our first strength.
And these runners are had slight divergence here and there, but They are right on the same route.
They're even following each other's paths, collecting the skulls. Isn't this amazing?
Where else but here on ZSR?
I'm not sure who it was, but somebody made a case for synchronous Zooter. Two people working together, playing the same things on the same time.
2 players, 1 controller?
I just think 2 controllers and 2 games. You also have the synchronous swimming, right, where you jump from the plank and make the same moves.
Something strange in the neighborhood. We're calling this guy. Oh, I wish I hadn't.
I just think it's incredible that they are actually literally doing exactly the same things, collecting skulls, handing in the pose.
Wasn't there a hint for big pose? Maybe not. I didn't have enough time to sing Ghostbusters because they didn't actually do it from horseback. The game just handed it to them.
Aren't there any songs that relate to spiders or skulls?
I am a big Alice Cooper fan.
Itsy Bitsy Spider. I don't know that one.
No. You gotta check out Black Widow by Alice Cooper. Great skull hunting song. Vanilla Prelude.
So we don't have to save and quit anymore if you want to go back here as a child. And we're seeing the GTG play from RyuuKane.
Oh, yeah. Can't imagine anything else. Well, actually, is he just getting skulls and double checking that he checked that fairy fountain?
You might want to double check the fairy fountain after what happened in the first round. This is actually the literal worst skull in the game. Well, RyuuKane isn't being trolled by the green monsters.
You know, Hamsda here, child Dampé digging. He paid off as an adult. Is he going to continue the trend? Nope.
RyuuKane picking up the 2 skulls here in Colossus, and now he's heading back to GTG. Also note that we now have a bottle to work with, so we can get a couple more skulls.
Yeah, those actually that might have been the reason why they did do the big Poe hint, or the big Poe check after getting the hint to get an empty bottle.
So there are 10 bean patches, I believe, that not all have skulls. Maybe 8 or 9 have skulls. I'm not entirely sure.
All the bean patches have Skulltulas in them, except for the one next to the bean salesman.
I'm assuming VXR also took this into consideration when he was counting the skulls.
Well, technically, those are locked by strength, because the big Poe bottle was further in the Fire Temple.
Oh, right. I didn't notice that.
Yeah. All these little twists and turns that you don't have to keep track of, but I'm told that it helps you play Rando better, maybe.
Just talking about trackers for a second, I believe Hamsda is actually one of the people who is working a lot on those trackers, the emo tracker in particular.
Oh, right. Ham's got the emo tracker. Definitely.
I believe this is the first diversion we have seen, basically, in the seed.
Yeah, minus a few little checks here and there, like Goron City. But both of them are thinking skulls. Ryu here in the Wasteland and in the Desert Colossus picking up 3 skulls. Hamsda and Chopped Cack. But RyuuKane thinking about the logic with the horse. I think coming here to GTG is a smart play to make.
It's a minor annoyance to get the Gerudo card. Really working out as expected.
Unfortunately, it is nighttime, so unless Ryu's maybe thinking about going into the valley for some quick skulls and the checks there, he'll be missing out on horseback archery.
And RyuuKane has a little bit of trouble with the guard here. Now the second time around he manages to kill.
And it always feels bad when you see a runner get thrown in jail from the guard fight.
Hamsda getting a couple of beans. I'm just thinking, what could we need it for?
Beans. First check of the river.
Was there something on the arch that I didn't see?
Maybe.
Because it surprises me a little that Hamsda is buying 3 beans.
Yeah, definitely surprising for 3. Thought the volcano was dead for sure. Always trust the runners over your own 2 eyes.
Yeah, it could indeed be for the Lost Woods skull. But I would assume that Hamsda is being able to do that one out of logic as an adult.
Oh, well, he's got that bug in his bottle, so there are 3 quick soil patches he can get from the Lost Woods, but he can't get there without a scale. He can play Minuet, though. Okay. While Ryu is not popped into the valley, he jumped straight into the training ground. Going right side first.
And there's the Kariko to Twin Rover path. So for what item could that be?
Requiem? That was in the windmill. That would be the easiest way to resolve that.
Yeah, it cannot be the strength because it's hinted always. So yeah, it's probably Requiem for a key on the child side.
No big chests on the right side. One in the center.
You hate to see it when you don't have access to strength, to have a big chest there in the center. Because you need all 9 keys in order to make it to the center.
Hamsda opening up the center of this waterfall. He's going to take us into Zor's domain. Haven't seen this play yet.
Yeah, and we also haven't seen Valley. It might just be Valley all along. My estimation is that RyuuKane will go to do Valley after he's finished with GTG.
Yeah, I think that would be a safe and efficient route. Nothing from the fire enemies.
I do think it's been a good seed so far. Definitely worthy of S5.
Absolutely, it's seems a bit straightforward, but luckily it hasn't been too bottlenecky.
I think runners normally want just a fair race, and this seed definitely gives them a fair race. It's not a jet, it's not anything trollish, at least not so far.
Second big chest, and it's some fire.
We just need some magic to use it.
Yeah, no magic yet. But Ryu is gonna be sticking around, hoping for 7 keys to get to the center. Fortunately, 4 checks locked behind 2 strength upgrades.
We should be able to full clear it other than the strength 2 lock checks. And of course, depending on the keys, we might not make it to the center.
One after the Cyclops shooting, and there's at least one in the maze itself.
Nothing special in Zora's domain. Also, a boomerang would be nice to help with the last couple of skulls. We haven't seen that one either. But with Jabo being a stone, maybe the runners wouldn't mind not seeing boomerang for a long time.
Don't think you win if you don't rescue Lord Banana.
They have tipped for us, Mr. Korbinik.
Yeah, we have seen the first 5 checks in Forest Temple. Checks we have not seen are Chickens, Child Goron City, Din's Great Fairy Fountain, Horseback Archery, and Gerudo Valley. And I think South Hyrule Field. I'm not sure if Hamsda did that or not.
Spam your chickens in chat, because we are seeing the chickens check here on Hamsda's side.
And he's not afraid to do it. It's only 80 minutes in.
We did just get an additional path hint on Hamsda's side, so it doesn't make total sense. Although we do have Requiem, of course, in the windmill.
And Song of Storms on Burning Cat.
But that will not be path, because it was hinted.
Oh, and yeah, Ryu just getting 4 small keys.
Does that mean we have 4 small keys in the strength locked room? And 1 in toilet?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I mean, I suppose he full cleared the rest of GTG.
Yep. I was just double checking in case I missed something, but yeah, 5 checks left in GTG, plus a big chest in the center. So we busted those rocks open. It does not look like he's interested in the other 2 checks in the valley. Horseback archery a bit quicker to do.
I suspect he would like to do the Epona's checks here first, and then he will peek the Gerudo Valley checks.
Meanwhile, Hamsda has collected the cuckoos and hover boots, paying off.
I will have a serious word with someone in chat who called the hovers on Anju here.
They were required for the fire temple in logic. Because they were not able to get past the map chest, those hover boots are required.
RyuuKane does not look happy for some reason, although he does have enough points for the game.
I think he's a bit unhappy about going through GTG and not getting the goods.
Check the waterfall.
Yep, this is clearing out the valley. Hamsda clearing out Goron City.
I'm not sure what the daytime is at the moment, because if he can wait until night, he can do two more skulls here. RyuuKane with an original setup there for the crate. I haven't seen that before.
Is that Greg?
That's the Hylian shield.
Oh, okay. My eyes are not working out today. Is our last foolish hint? It is. Zor's Fountain.
Ooh. Wasn't that Domain?
Oh, was it Domain? I saw Zor's.
I
I
had the-
thought I saw
I-
Neff.
I thought it was Domain.
Domain is confirmed.
And RyuuKane didn't do Domain yet, so that's a bit of a time win on Hamsda.
Yeah, definitely. Have to see if that leads him to make a play for the ice cavern. He's got a bottle. He's got Zelda's Lullaby.
Of course, Ice is still out of logic without Rose Letter.
I think at this point they are a bit too bottlenecked to care.
Yeah, definitely. Ice is always a good play, or is considered a good play.
Yeah.
You can get a couple more Sculptulas on the way.
I like RyuuKane playing for progression rather than Hamsda, checking off the path hint that he has the medallion for. But as you mentioned, it could be something that leads us to the slingshot that is
Might also,
otherwise
yeah.
locked.
I can also imagine finding, for example, Dins here or something else that leads to the slingshot.
Papa D, what's it gonna be? It's a letter. Holy
Oh boy,
shit.
that's actually big. First slingshot in Jabu, logically required.
Or for just, the slingshot in Ice Cavern.
Yeah, now we are definitely on 50 skulls in logic.
Yeah, chat wants to see it. Ice Ice Baby.
And
he doesn't have a scale or iron boots. He's got to go the long way if he wants to get there.
It has just been confirmed to us that Ice is now actually in logic, whereas I just said it wasn't.
Yeah, it can change at the drop of a hat.
So Hamsda placed a bean here. So he will be up faster to Ice if he's going to do the same thing.
Should be noted for chat that we did see the vanilla boomerang chest is dead, so that we will not be seeing.
Yeah, it's most likely it's just going to be Zora's Fountain or Ice Cavern.
And at this point, Ice has our Bolero of Fire, so it's not for the song.
I just missed the skull count on Hamster's side. It looked like something 25, 26. I'm not sure where RyuuKane's at right now.
He's definitely a little past 20. I'm gonna see it here. 27?
Okay. 31 for RyuuKane.
Oh, 31. Wow. Not too far off, but remember, Ryu hasn't touched any soil patches or child Kakariko skulls.
And that makes 30 for Hamsda indeed, so they're also neck on neck on skull count. As we were expecting before the race, this was going to be very close, and it appears we were right. Are there any songs that we might get in Ice that are useful? I think only Bolero is left.
Yeah, that is it. Bolero in the Ice Cavern, Sun Song from Ocarina of Time, Song of Storms, and Burning Cat.
I'm not a big fan of doing ice myself, but I always love watching those top runners doing all these jumps in ice. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, RyuuKane has got his bombs out, so looks like he's already opting for the bomb jump or the ground jump strats. But it does kind of hurt to do it with just one bottle.
Maybe this one bottle is the MVP of the seed. You can get to ice, you can get all the skulls.
That would be fun. What if every race we voted for which item was the most valuable item?
Yeah, that might actually be an interesting idea. What was that? RyuuKane having a little bit of trouble getting the glitch to work here. And right when I say that, he manages to jump over the fence.
I'm just going for the tricky side of the lab skull.
Yeah, that's actually one of the skulls that is not in logic.
It's its second try, like a champ. Anyone see under the icy water? Ryu thinks he can.
It looked like a dince to me, although it could also be something else. Might also have been just a hard piece.
Two very different items.
Yeah, there have been so many cases where a runner didn't see the item correctly and lost the race because of this.
Oh, well, that's convenient for it.
Yeah, we can actually check it out right now. Now we will see whether RyuuKane thinks it's an item or that's actually just bait.
He's going down. Down, down, down to the icy, icy water. And back up.
I still wasn't entirely sure what the item was.
Yeah, I trust him going that far down now. Meanwhile, Ham's showing us a foolish spirit temple. Requiem, though, likely path to Twinrova in Cat.
Yeah, I really don't mind this play. It's most likely hard required to do something on the child side.
Chat thinking it was a scale in the icy water. Luckily, we do know the underwater item in Lake Hylia is trash. So, with those iron boots, scale are not going to be required.
Indeed, the skill is just going to be nice to have at this point. And there's the key on the child side. Good point by chat. We might be able to reach the strength now in Water Temple.
Now that is a very good point. Where would we be without chat?
Maybe chat is just the MVP of every seed.
Well, they're definitely the most valuable commentator.
Hamsda having some problems again with keeping the stream up, at least on my side.
Yeah, even in 180p, it's struggling.
Hamsda double checking the hint that says strength on 50.
I hope Ishta isn't implying that I'm getting paid to be here on ZSR, because that's definitely the case. As RyuuKane finds that Rudo's letter path to a slingshot.
Does that mean we're actually now back in logic?
I think so.
Actually, we still have done a couple of things in fire that was out of logic without the strength.
But if you two would like to be a voice of ZSR, or perhaps the button pusher doing all the tracking, just let it be known, and it's essentially as easy as that.
Yes, the vacancy for volunteers is always open.
And of course, if you would like to see someone get paid for all their work done here on ZSR, the current sub goal is actually to pay a ZSR staff member. I think like 25 subs or so away for Cubs payday. $40 subs, sorry, close enough.
Hamsda clearing everything he could in child, now going back adult, following in RyuuKane's footsteps.
Yeah, I think you're right. Ham's clearing everything. Yeah. Wait, did he do Din's Fairy?
Yeah, he might have skipped one or two. I would assume that he has done it already.
Certainly an easy one to forget. But according to Lord Xenu in the chat, he did, just like RyuuKane, done doing the Ice Cavern here. Last check, is it going to be good?
Oh, there was a magic on the graveyard. I didn't see that earlier.
Yeah, that's why he bought that balloon.
That also explains the beans that I couldn't place earlier.
And I think Ham's now making the play for GTG. Fortunately, I don't think that's the play to make. I think chat's right. I think the Iron Boots are going to lead us to that strength in the Water Temple.
It's going to be interesting to look at the key logic in water and see if once we get the strength that it's actually achievable according to the logic.
Ham, go to your last fairy fountain. One more. That's the answer. Oh no, looks like Ham is gonna wait out some time of day to get a Skulltula or two.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, sorry, go.
no, actually, you go ahead.
I was gonna say Ryu making his deposit in the Bank of Temple of Time.
Yeah, I was going to say the times I was waiting for the worst skull in the game. I always have so much trouble getting that, being bullied by the green monsters.
Yeah, fun little Easter egg. If you kill a bunch of the levers, a really gigantic one spawns. And the same thing happens with Wei.
RyuuKane getting Dumpei dinging out of the way. It's always one of those checks that might trip you up.
And more importantly, he's collecting that bug in that bottle. He's got spiders on the brain.
I have a sort of deja vu where both runners are doing the things the other person did earlier.
They're really limited in the progression that's available to him. But with that magic, with those fire arrows in, I think, GTG, we do have the check in the Royal Tomb that has opened up.
RyuuKane on 37 skulls, and he will be able to get a couple more in the child. He might even make it to 50.
Should be 6 in here he can get with the one on the tower.
If he then clears out a couple more of those bean patches, then I think he can make it to 50.
Segway Speed Racer, that is for real.
Indeed, we have not seen the path that is in shadow, because we haven't seen Dins yet. Maybe that says something about long shot at this point.
It definitely says something for Fire Arrow entry hate.
Ooh, fire arrow entry, yeah, that's a hot topic. No pun intended.
Well, we love puns. If you're making bad puns, you need to join the ZSR commentary team.
Just coming back to what I said earlier, I think with this shadow being a path, and with all the items that we have right now, maybe is long shot behind Dins confirmed at the moment.
It might be, yeah. Yeah, it's not the central pillar.
RyuuKane also getting some beans, so he will also be able to get his magic soon.
So my argument for Fire Arrow entry is if you line up the instructions with that and the instructions for Frogs 2, it's really not that much harder. Might be a little harder, but not much.
Personally, I have not really an idea what is required for fire arrow entry, so I'm not able to weigh in this discussion.
And you essentially just do a bunch of side hopping and backflipping and shooting your arrow. course, then the humans got the right idea. You just splatter the frog that you get from the Bigoran quest onto the Shadow Temple pedestal. That also opens up the door. But that's not allowed in standard rule set.
That's right, Makandi. That was indeed the path to Goma.
Yeah, the path has been routed out.
So we are maybe 10 minutes away from getting that strength on 50 before we can do forest and possibly more.
Yeah, Ryu is collecting the last bits and pieces of his 50 reward here.
I always find it very impressive how fast these runners can route in those skulls.
Yeah, when you need to get it done, you can do it pretty quickly. $47.
RyuuKane will definitely be the first one to hit those 50.
Ham is really close as well, making great use of time of day.
Hamsda down to his last 2 skulls, so he doesn't have many opportunities to waste. And Hamsda following RyuuKane, also doing Epona's checks first before going down to the waterfall.
Well, if you can identify one Scopola, you're in luck. They all look the same.
That's actually a good one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Is this the last one for RyuuKane, or is he 1 or 2 more away?
This is 49. Sure, he knows where number 50 is, though.
He might do the last one with Child Spirit.
Oh, no, I think that was 50. Was it?
No, it was 48. It was 48 here in the volcano.
I can't read.
Maybe
Oh,
RyuuKane.
I can read that number. Hamsda getting a 1840.
That's an impressive score.
I'm feeling the love.
I was just going to say that maybe RyuuKane will be able to bargain, that 48 is enough this time. RyuuKane trying out a very difficult peak there for the right hand.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite peaks here, just as match content here. Introduced for Season 5.
I wasn't able to see what it was, but apparently the consensus is that it's a key.
And I think from down low, you can just see if it's small or not small.
Also one of the favorite rooms to watch, the Child Spirits, clearing out all these enemies here. There's lots of different strategies to do it fast.
What some people don't know, and others will be repulsed by, is technically you're all going to be roommates with the several spiders throughout your lifetime. Forget the exact number, but everybody is going to be swallowing some spiders in the middle of the night. Have fun sleeping.
I have heard that too, but I'm starting to believe that that's actually an urban legend.
Yep, 69% of all statistics are made up on the spot.
That's a good one as well. I used to swallow a lot of flies when I was biking to school.
I don't know why you swallowed that fly.
And that's 50 for RyuuKane.
Yeah, 50, and the child spirit logic sussed out. And they will be first to their strength upgrade, 1 hour, 48 minutes in.
– 50 skulls in 1 hour and 50 minutes. How impressive is that?
I think I've seen a little bit faster, but it's up there. It's very, very impressive. Oh, hovers are in a great spot. They're on chickens. Don't think Ryu's getting them anytime soon.
To answer a hot question in chat, I'm not sure if I am a frog. Maybe someone should kiss me first. And if I turn into a prince, then I might be.
Ooh. Challenge. Any takers?
So with that strength, RyuuKane will probably finish Forest first, and then see what else he needs to finish the game.
Yeah, Ryu headed straight for the Forest Temple. He's got that strength upgrade. Phantom Ganon, here we come. And Forest Temple was a path, right? No, that was Shadow.
I believe we only have the Shadow Temple path left. So it wouldn't be surprising if Dins shows up here. And with the path that's now currently left, Longshot is probably behind Dins.
Yep, that is looking likelier and likelier.
So depending on where that Dins ends up being, we might be having a very quick finish here, or we might be in for at least 1 more hour.
Yeah, now, one thing I'm thinking about, and something the runners might be keeping in mind, that scale underneath the icy waters. It's just a scale in Shadow Temple, maybe for the lab dive. That could be a whole big mess of a temple that you could avoid potentially.
But we do have irons at this point, so the scales are not really necessary to do this check.
Yeah, but the game never expects you to do the lab dive with the iron boots. It always requires the gold scale for logic.
The irons were actually in Zora's fountain on the ferry.
Yeah, very convenient spot for them. Looks like Ham is taking those fire arrows he just picked up in GPG, taking them into the wasteland. I haven't seen this chick.
In terms of who is ahead and who is behind, RyuuKane is of course ahead on the skulls and on the strength, although Hamsda already has the hovers on chickens.
Yeah, that's the caveat. If those hovers are required, Ham is looking good. But otherwise, these runners, I think, are neck and neck. Ryu with a slight lead in that strength department, but Ham is right behind them.
It's good to remember that fire was hovers locked, so if RyuuKane needs to look for it at some point, he might use that information.
Yep, definitely. Small chest.
So where RyuuKane is at right now, that's actually one of those places where Furor's strategies would be forest normally.
Yeah, not a bad thing. Unfortunately, locked by a big Goron, no side of that trade quest item.
And then again, he also would have needed to pick up the magic in Graveyard. Runners are probably happy to see no Boomerang yet, also no Brutos yet for RyuuKane, so no reason to go into Jabu.
Yeah, but Hams might be thinking about getting that strength upgrade in the Water Temple here.
Yeah, once we get the 2 strengths that we know about, we can also finish Spirit and get the Storms on Burning Keg.
Oh, no, never mind. There is a Nocturne for him. Getting that strength upgrade from the Skulltula house. And then I think, just stop at the Royal Tomb.
It's a good point. I forgot that Hamsda doesn't have the irons yet.
Yeah, right. That was our boy Ryu. Making the play for Ice Cavern without Ludo's left.
Did someone see what Hamsda just found? Because it was just pausing just 3 seconds while he was doing the check.
I did not.
Well, if he somehow goes to Shadow, then we know that it was Din's. Otherwise, it was probably just a troll item. So where's Hamsda going right now? Is it going to be the ice play?
He's hanging a left. He's planted that bean.
So according to chat, Hamsda just found the scale there.
Ooh, all hail, it's Lord Banana here in the Forest Temple from our Blue Poe.
Uh-oh, now AD is actually in logic.
Still missing Din's Fire for all dungeons, but unfortunately opens 3 checks in Jabu's belly.
Oh, right, never mind. We were still missing Dins, of course, for AD. How many skulls does Hamsda have right now? We'll get to see it after this call.
Should be close to the 50 mark.
Then again, there's the buffering.
Ryu almost finished up in the Forest Temple, and Ham's going to Ice, where Ryu's been gotten nothing good out of. I'd say Ryu is looking like he's extending a bit of a lead the further and further this goes. Except for those hover boots. It could be required, and it could be a while before Ryu gets there.
The hover boots placement is for sure scary for RyuuKane. He will not get this check for quite a long time, is my expectation. Hovers were on chickens. The hovers on chickens were actually called by one of our followers in the chat.
Of course, they're hoarding all those lotto numbers for themselves. Hamsda will be picking up those iron boots.
Maybe we'll have another take on the item there at the bottom, because then I am also sure what item we have missed there.
And I was also just noticing that Hamsda has a silver scale already. Where did he get that?
Yeah, so Hamsda got the silver scale when he was doing Composer's Grave Chest.
Oh, okay. Nice.
The question is, will Hamsda go finish the skull task first and then do forest, or will he go into water first?
Yeah, I'm not sure the order matters a whole lot.
Just having the strength for water is just a little bit more convenient, although there is a strength in water. Probably doesn't make a difference at this point. The bottom of the Zora's Fountain. Happy 2 hours.
You going for an impressive setup here, going for the one cycle on Phantom Ganon. And gets it. Very nice.
RyuuKane is definitely showing that the seed number is way too low. His play has been phenomenal so far.
Definitely want to make sure you follow these racers. Without them racing the races, we wouldn't have the races to watch being raced.
Let me process that sentence for a couple of seconds.
So we had our strength hints early. I believe both of them outside of Temple of Time.
So the chase for Dins continues. We haven't found it in Forest.
Yeah, Forrest just having a banana.
I'm curious to see what RyuuKane is planning to do right now. He could also have just used Serenade to go to water.
I think he's gonna play Opponent's Song and do the South Hyrule Grottos. I don't think he's checked those down there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether he had done Hyrule Field already. I had assumed you might have done it after Adult Lake.
Yeah, that is the journey southward.
We can also peek Tactile Grotto.
We are running out of locations for our progression.
Maybe we can make a list of what's left. Actually, there's quite a lot of things left.
Yeah, there's Jabu, there's Deeper Fire, there's the Tektite Grotto, the Toilet, Diving in the Lab, which is Analogic, and the Water Temple.
And my expectation is that Spirit is also in Logic already, if we can get the Strength in Water. And then bring Storms in Logic.
Yeah, that would be a spicy meatball for sure. Well, Field is not the answer.
Then RyuuKane will proceed to Water Temple and try to get the Strength.
No, he's headed back north. It's like to check the Tektite Grotto. I hope he's not going to GTG for the Toilet.
Yeah, that's a good question. He might just play the song after he finishes the check here. I'm not sure if we have seen the Boulder check already.
I have seen the Boulder O Destiny. Tektite Grotto here, our last unknown check. Just some soggy pizza.
RyuuKane counting the number of checks he has left with his fingers.
Yeah, he is. He's being very thorough. He's not leaving much behind. I'll go into the Royal Tomb with that. Get greeted by a silver scale.
It's one of those chests that you always get it when you can do Composer's Grave as a child, and you might miss out on it for a long time if you do it as an adult.
Yeah. Ryu has not done Child Yoron City. There's Hams getting strength 2 hours 5 minutes in.
The Skull Hunt is definitely completed now for both runners.
About 15, 16 minutes apart.
But I might give Hamsda a small lead here, just because of those hovers.
Yeah, we'll see what RyuuKane does here, making his deposit in the Bank of Temple of Time. Doesn't have a whole lot to do with Child. Child Goron City will get him. Wait, what's in Child Goron City? His Rudo's letter. That doesn't do a whole lot for him, but open up Jabu.
Yeah, that Rudo's letter will bring almost everything RyuuKane did back into Logic. Although he still needs the hovers for Fire to be in Logic.
Is he showing us a 1 in 32? No. A guy can dream.
Yeah, RyuuKane is not one of the runners that likes to make these gambles, I think. We have some other runners in the tournament still who might.
Yeah, one of the staples to watch for on a Cola OSU stream. I think Cola versus Say happens this Saturday. That'll be a hype match.
Yeah, the level of all the runners is so high. Almost every match is very hype.
That is Minuet, not Nocturne, so moving away from the hover boots towards Rudo's letter. If he gets Rudo's letter, will he be tempted into Jabu's belly?
At this point, Dins might very well be in Jabu. It slightly surprises me that we are not going into water yet. Having the second strength is actually pretty nice. There's also a big chest in GTG in the center, which we could get by then.
That is right. Sora versus Say, Cola versus Soli. Tension is mounting here with RyuuKane versus Hamsda.
I'm afraid that RyuuKane is not going to do chickens unless he's also able to do, for example, the bottom of the well. He might be down to his last checks when he's going for chickens. So the runners are doing basically the checks that the other runner already did. So we are not able to see some new checks for some time.
Yeah, Hams will get his banana in here. I'm not sure if RyuuKane will be tempted into Jabu with picking up the letter. Or will he just say, nah, that's just for the slingshot. I don't want to do the fish.
I think RyuuKane will get the strength in water, at least attempt to. I think Jabu.
So the only reason this makes a little bit more sense than doing water, I know one of the items in water is a strength upgrade, and you know a second one is dead from a hint. Because Spirit is also foolish, getting a second strength upgrade doesn't do much except unlock the big chest in the center of GTG. So definitely can't reprimand Ryu for his choice of routing here. I think at this point it's Jabu with 3 checks, Deep Fire with 2 or 3 checks.
Looks like we are actually going to see the Jabu play.
Yep. Always harder to be in the racer shoes rather than the volunteer staff, which is why I'm comfortably here in the commentator's booth with my buddy Matt here.
And that of course, with how the items are laid out here, it definitely makes a lot of sense to stay in logic. So we have a lot of information on where we are going to find our items.
We do know the Stingray chest is nothing. A really early hint for that one.
It wouldn't be the first time that Jabu is swallowing all the goods. But yeah, if you full clear Jabu, then we're looking at a 7-8 minute time investment.
Unfortunately, does not need any of the quick skulls that you can grab in here.
Yeah, if he could have done it earlier, just for the skulls, he probably would have. Hamsda also slowly making his way through forest, down to the last two posts.
Yeah, unlike Ryu, Hamsda has had his Ruto's letter for a while. Just getting that boomerang. But has recently, I think too recently, found the bad news in the ice cap, and I think they would be reluctant to go back to the fountain to clear out Jabu. So I'm guessing Hams goes from the Forest Temple to the Water Temple. Just a guess. To find out, you'll have to stay tuned here on ZSR.
Yeah, with Hamsda actually having the hovers, which I realize RyuuKane doesn't have, of course. For Hamsda, it makes the water play much better than for RyuuKane.
First chest, a small boy.
The boomerang chest was into dead, so there's one fewer check RyuuKane has to do here.
You feel bad leaving without Furr's Wind, I think, but if it's a big chest, I think it's what you gotta do. It's a big chest. It doesn't have something useful in it, though. It does.
Oh my god. It's
Yuck.
actually Dins.
Stone Jabu required for your Dins, for Stone Shadow hinted path to Morpha.
So we have a race on our hands.
Well, actually, I think with that, I think it's RyuuKane's to lose. They will very likely pick up their long shot here in the Shadow Temple. You know, Silver Gauntlets are waiting in the boss key room of Water Temple. So
But,
that effectively puts them in go mode.
But the question is, RyuuKane can only do 2 checks there in Shadow out of the 20.
Oh, right. So Ryu is crossing his fingers, hoping that first 2 checks either hold the hover boots or the long shot for him. Fortunately, the hover boots are a little ways outside 7 years in advance.
What if we actually find the strength here and not needing the strength in water? Then we might think about storms actually for the long shot.
Very true. Adding a 3rd item to a juicy plot twist. Yeah, it's going to be tough for Hamsda, I think, to go into Jabu for Dins. But he's running out of spots that Dins could be.
Hamsda with the swag on Phantom Ganon.
Not going for the quick kill on Phantom Ganon either. It's going to cost a little bit of time playing tennis.
Small chest.
Yeah, in the Shadow Temple, not paying out.
Hamsda does not have the dins yet.
And neither runner with Big Goron Sword. Hate to see it. Yeah, they need to be playing some Captain Planet, because with their powers combined, they can do the Shadow Temple.
Maybe the runners will be high-fiving somewhere during the rest of the seed. They can exchange items.
Fortunately for Ryu, not in the first two, so he's looking elsewhere for... Oh, that was really smart. Keeping the save in Jabu. Ryu using that gigantic brain. Just unfortunately not in the right area. He needs to go do chicken.
Yeah, that's what I love to see always in those matches, that people use save states and scumming. That's what makes these runners so good at the game.
Yeah, that is a next level play there. I didn't even think about it as I was talking furrows. Ryu obviously thinking ahead. Meanwhile, Hamsda is thinking a little hot-headedly. He's going into deep fire.
So is that Hamsda thinking he might be behind, or does he actually think that these are the best checks he can do right now?
I think it's the best play that he can make in the moment. I think that's all the runners can do.
He's choosing deep fire over Jabu.
Yeah, that's for sure. Little surprised he's not clearing out the water temple, at least getting the boss key, trying to get those silver gauntlets maybe. Hams knows what he's doing. He's made it to the top 64 of Season 5.
Yeah, both of the runners know what they're doing. They are very highly skilled players. And as I said before, I wouldn't have been surprised if I saw those names at the top 16.
Yeah, unfortunately, they have wound up here in the lower bracket. The loser is going home. The winner is going to have to wait a little bit. Salty Sponge and Ice... Ice something or other.
Yeah, that's another interesting matchup coming up later.
I didn't see that on the schedule earlier, so definitely going to be looking forward to that one. Ice 9, that's what it is.
Sponge, of course, being the second finisher in Season 4. RyuuKane making his way through Jabu.
Blink and you might miss the easiest mini-boss in the game.
Is that actually the only mini-boss in the game?
Dark Link's definitely a mini-boss.
Oh, right. And maybe the...
Could argue the Iron Knuckles in Spirit Temple.
Or the Flame Dancers, perhaps, in Fire.
Oh, yeah.
What does Pierre have today?
I think it's gotta be a small key. Yeah.
So we're down to the last 3 checks in Fire then.
Yeah, 3 checks, 2 of them are small keys. hoping that the item is the highest Loron or in the compass chest.
I believe there's always 2 keys that you have left if you feel clear for fire. Because one door you never have to open and 1 key is extra.
Very nice Baronade fight from Ryu, making the second phase look like a piece of cake.
That's indeed a very clean Baronade, as we like to call it.
Oh, here's our chest. Silver's. Oh my god. Pan out for him.
Oh, that's actually huge. Also, information-wise, that puts storms in logic.
Unfortunately, there's no way that can help him get to a long shot in the Shadow Temple.
But yeah, I agree with Chet. This is 100% bad for Hamsda because he actually needs to do Jabu, and this will make him do a lot of other things first.
Good news for RyuuKane, there is a Nocturne. They are getting closer and closer to those hover boots.
Yes, if this is the chicken's play, and it definitely looks like it, then I'm afraid the race is over.
Welcome, Raiders from Deadly Thunder. Joined us hot in the match. It looks like the turning point, RyuuKane picking up his cock. Andrew will reward him for doing that with a pair of hover boots.
Yeah, and this looks like to be a nail in the coffin, with Hamsda having all this extra bait, and RyuuKane just being in go mode, or at least having 1 path to clear for 1 more item.
It is Ryu's match to lose. Unfortunately, it looks like we'll be saying goodbye to Hamsda for Season 5. They have played outstandingly all through the quals. Unfortunate luck here in the brackets.
Yes, if the dins and the strength locations were reversed, then it would be Hamsda being on the winning side of things.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes some seeds, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Both runners are putting up a great fight so far, but it looks like RyuuKane is taking the win here in the end.
And chat pointing out 50 not technically required, just logically required. I can't see how you go deeper into fire at that point in the seed, though. Unless you have the spoiler log.
Yeah, so for everyone who just joined, there's a strength on the water BK chest, and RyuuKane will just get his hovers in a minute, and he will be able to get it. But the strength was hinted this time, so it's not as bad as it normally is. I'm not sure about finishing Shadow, but he will definitely go into Shadow until he finds long shot.
Yeah, crossing our fingers that it's earlier in the temple rather than later. But those are the hover boots, and as expected, RyuuKane warping directly into the Temple of Time. He knows where his Master Sword is. He's doing some time travel, and he'll be wrapping up the seed here. Guessing within the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, it starts to look like a sub 3 for RyuuKane. It all depends, of course, on how much of Shadow he has to do before finding what I assume is long shot. The only other thing we could potentially find is maybe the lens for a long shot in the treasure chest game. RyuuKane already having done the first 2 checks there in Shadow. I'm not sure whether there was a key among those. Because he's come the way his progression there. Okay, so Ryu has to get back for the dead hand to get the key. RyuuKane has played this amazingly well. Even the save scum in Shadow was very nice to see, so he can continue in Jabu.
I might be feeling a little bad having to fight Dead Hand a second time, but he gets it quick enough.
My guess is that RyuuKane will be happy with his play when he comes in for the interview. I think he's most of the time happy with his play, but he just has been unlucky with how the seats were laid out for him. Hamsda looking for... we know that Spirit is foolish.
Yeah, I haven't noticed if they've gotten their boss key yet, but they do need one more small key. Oh, no, that's the third. Never mind.
Spirit is also, I believe it's long shot locked because there's a key on the right hand. RyuuKane is hoping that this path item will turn up soon. So that he can just bail out of Shadow immediately.
Nothing but small keys for both our runners.
Yep, there's a lot of early keys. At least we can lower the platform for before we go to the boss, even if we don't have the big key yet. Although I do believe we need the long shot to hook back up.
No, you can do that with just the hook shot.
Yeah, is it doable with the hook shot? Okay.
Yeah, you can do it.
There's the big key.
Vanilla? Come on, game.
So Rich, there's a strength 2 in Deep Fire. And there's also one in Water Temple on the big key chest. But the thing that Hamsda needed to do was go into Jabu for the Dins. So he's going to be distracted for quite some time now. I wouldn't be surprised if Hamsda is not yet in go mode when RyuuKane finishes because of all the bait that Hamsda has now laid out in front of him.
Yeah, except Hamsda doesn't have a whole lot to do. They haven't done the first 2 checks in Shadow yet. I'm guessing that's where they'll go first.
Yeah, but I do believe we get storms after this dungeon finishes, so that brings bottom of the well.
You should know from the logic, and Hams knows his logic, that it shouldn't be locked by storms.
Yeah, is Hamsda actually out of logic right now? I'm not sure. So I think the first strength was in logic because of the skull, so I think the second strength is also in logic.
Oh yeah, that's too big for my brain.
This is always a very confusing game, keeping track of what the runners do and also keeping track of the logic and where the keys are. It's a challenge.
Ham is getting some nice Rova RNG as RyuuKane uncovers a large chest. Is this it? It is. Halfway through the Shadow Temple, our long shot lies for RyuuKane. They'll be finishing up here. Yeah, sub 3, no problem.
That will indeed make it a very easy finish for RyuuKane.
Well, he'll still be sweating 2 or 3 boss fights here. Looking over at that race time channel, 20 minutes in the past. Wondering, oh no, is Hamsda, did he find what I found earlier than me?
He's got to feel good about the Dins, though. That was definitely not a straightforward play to go into Jabu.
Yeah, Ryu making some great plays there just about 30 minutes ago. Save scumming his play into early Shadow before he got those hover boots.
And also he got the hovers on chicken, so he might also think that he has that on top of Hamsda. I imagine that RyuuKane is pretty good, although you're never sure, and it's gonna be sweaty for all you know.
Hams is an efficient player. Not afraid to do some chickens early.
So Hamsda being the first on 5 medallions, but I'm afraid he's going to be the last on 6, which is the number that counts.
And unfortunately, the long shot is too far away. It's long, but it's not that long.
And indeed, I was just saying that Spirit is longshot locked, and then I was later saying that longshot might be behind storms. So even I can get confused with all of the things that we see.
He has gotten his 2 small keys for his strength upgrade. Looking for the big one. Might need as many as 4 small keys.
At least we get to see what's in the remaining GTG checks, so that we can sleep tonight and not having to worry about it. RyuuKane is on the way to the strength.
Piece of cake with those hover boots.
After 2 hours and 37 minutes and a half, we find both of the strengths that were hinted in minute 1.
Yeah, right outside the Temple of Time where we spawned as a child. Seems like a lifetime ago.
Now it's a matter of finding where the boss key is.
Not there.
He will need a second key at some point.
Only if the boss key is locked behind Dark Link or the river chest.
Oh, right, he already he used up to get the strength there.
We do know the central pillar is hinted dead, so I think it is behind the fourth key.
Yeah, the Dark Link sequence is looking more and more likely with each tech that we see. That might be the play to enter Dark Link. Hamsda finding some more keys in the strength locked area of TTG.
Yeah, I think we knew these all had to be some small keys. And he's up to 7 to get into the center. One small key being in the maze itself. That's all she wrote for him.
Yeah, and I feel a bit for Hamsda. Yeah, he's definitely playing also very well. Similarly to RyuuKane, just the items that he found just didn't lead him to the right places.
Yeah, chat mentioning that finding that strength upgrade in Deep Fire was one of the worst things that Ham could have found. Taking him here into GTG. Not the play that he needed to make.
It's not as bad as I thought initially because, Tins and the Longshot cannot be Strength 2 locked. Or at least not Storms locked. But it will definitely put him in the wrong direction.
Ooh, gold scale. Chat was wrong about the icy water.
Well, actually, I started believing it was a skill as well when I saw it on Hamsda's side. So that must have been something else then.
Two checks left in the water temple for Ryu.
So we'll need approximately 2 or 3 more minutes in water. Then we'll need, how much? 8 minutes in spirit. It's going to be a close sub 3.
But all seeds can sub 3, I thought.
Well, all seeds can definitely sub 4, as we have seen yesterday.
Oh, I would definitely expect that from the top 64.
Also, last year with Season 4, we didn't have CSMC yet, and I believe all the bracket matches, the winner finished within 4 hours. And now with CSMC, I would expect most races to finish within 3.5 hours, actually.
Is the boss key for Ryu, the save quit back to the top? A little bit of a high five here going.
Hamsda opting to do something else first.
Yeah, he's checking the lab dive. He got that gold scale, and this is the thing that it unlocks.
Now, does RyuuKane get the...
Got the grab. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
That was actually a perfect example of a quick kill.
Yeah, make sure you're taking notes if you're struggling. Yeah.
Hey, look at the frogs on Hamsda's side, on the lab guy.
Yeah, not gonna use that one.
He's not gonna hand it in to get furores.
No, he might be looking for strength for something on OGC. Look at that. Ryu knows exactly how much time he needs for the final cutscene here for Morpha. Just enough time to run out of the room and grab something.
Yeah, the pit stop strats for RyuuKane have been on point also this seed. So who is he playing next again? The winner of the loser of Salty's Points versus Ice 9?
Yes, sir. Match yet to be scheduled. But in the meantime, plenty of matches. We are still in round 1 of the top and lower brackets. But moving on to the second round here and there.
And unfortunately for Hamsda, being able to win a qualifier does not guarantee any good success in the bracket stage.
Definitely not. There can just be one winner. 64 are good enough for brackets. Previous seasons, it's just been the top 32.
Hamsda still has to find the Dins, Brandon.
Yeah, with making such a late play to the Ice Cavern, getting nothing but a useless slingshot, I think Hams was remiss to go back to the fountain for just 3 checks in Jabu Jabu. Ryu, on the other hand, he dodged that letter for a big chunk of time, I think over 2 hours. Made that ice play a lot earlier. So as soon as he got the letter, he was a little more tempted into Jabu Jabu. See, kind of bottlenecking him off of progress at that point. And what a play it was, getting Din's Fire in Jabu and then saving there, going into Shadow for 2 checks, not getting hover boots or his long shot, save scumming that play. Immediately right back in Jabu, he cleared that out, and then made the play into Kakariko for his hover boots on chickens. Very impressive routing there. And late in the seed too, that's not...
Yeah, RyuuKane has just been on top of this the whole game. Yeah, his execution was, I think, slightly better than Hamsda's. He was earlier on 50 skulls, and he also wasn't baited into doing things that were not needed.
I think Hams was a little more efficient in certain spots. We see him got the mirror shield earlier. Was a bit more efficient in his adult Kakariko section. But yeah, that's just the way the seed went today. He needs one more small key, looking for the boss key. You know, it's all the way up at the top. So he'll likely full clear Spirit looking for it.
Yeah, I suppose he's following the same trail as Hamsda did, which almost made him full clear spirit, although it's foolish.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but sometimes the key logic just forces it that way.
The good thing for RyuuKane is that he has the long shot, so the wall climb is going to be a breeze.
Yeah, that's the best place for the long shot. Otherwise, it's not too helpful.
So it's about time we start thinking about what we might ask during the interviews.
Yeah, get your brainstorming done there in the chat. If you got any questions, shout them out.
For sure, we would love to hear their thoughts on the hints in the first minute. If your items are in a bad spot, then you'd just rather like to know about it through the hint system. The seed was sort of linear at some points, but there were also some moments of decision making involved.
It was pretty clear for the first, I want to say, 90 minutes where you get your Kokiri sword for nothing in Deku, clear out Kidango's cavern, get your hammer, go to Fire Temple, and then it seemed like it was an all-out slug for 50 skulls. RyuuKane getting that at the 1 hour 50-minute mark. Hamsda 15 minutes behind him.
So the first bomb was in fishing, right? I think child fishing.
Yep.
And the bow was where again?
We had one bow in the Sacred Forest Meadow from the Wolfos, and the second one from the Shield Graveyard.
Ah, that's right. Yes, indeed.
The Knuckle has been knocked out. A couple of witches stand between Ryu and the Rainbow Bridge. Hamsda is going back, child. I don't think they have very many checks left on their list.
No, this has got to be the Jabu play. There shouldn't be anything else for him at this point.
Yeah, there is Serenade.
He might just make it to long shot before RyuuKane finishes, but I actually think that RyuuKane finishes first.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think you are right on the money with that one.
One or two more hits on phase 1.
Well, there, Kome and Kutake, with their powers combined, they have a double dynamite attack.
Yeah, it's sad to see one of them go. That's my my main feeling after seeing this race.
All it means is you've got a more exciting match to look forward to for the next round. But there, the witches have been defeated. but it does not look good for a sub 3 hour seed. Ryu will do his best, so stay tuned here on ZSR for the epic conclusion of this matchup.
It's going to be close for the sub 3. I think it's doable. I think you should count about 6 minutes. We don't have the big Goron sword, so that might slow things a bit down.
I'm gonna guess we're gonna see a 3:06:66. Let's call it right there.
I was offline there for a second, but I think I'm back right now.
You sure are.
I'm still calling the 259. I think he can do it.
I want to see some fast slicing and dicing of some skeletons and some lizards.
Do we get to see one more big chest here? I remember RyuuKane was doing a practice run like a week ago, and he opened the big chest on the way to Ganon's, and he lost by 4 seconds.
Yeah, I don't imagine he'll be making that mistake here.
No, he promised not to open big chests on the way to Ganon's anymore.
I believe it's a small.
Hamsda is one room away for his dins.
Ryu 2 axes away from a game over, but it looks like he's got it.
I think with the double defense, he might have 3 hits for a death there.
Oh, yep, you're right. Just 2.5 hearts with double Ds. I was just commentating from the near future where he had already gotten hit. Oh, is it just 4? Okay, good to know. I'll forget that at a later time.
We did, in fact, get the light arrows from the Demper race.
Right, yep. Thank you, Ganondorf. And Hamsda's frog has reverted to his prescription, so he cannot do frog strats to open up the Shadow Temple.
Are there frog strats to open Fire Temple? Or to what?
No, me and someone in chat was joking about that earlier.
Ah. Is he getting the 1 cycle there? Not getting that 1 cycle.
Dwarf is down.
Two more minutes to finish the game.
Yeah, no pressure here from Ryu. It's been 2 hours, 58 minutes, and we're finally here. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Ganon.
Thanks for the announcement. We've been waiting for that for 3 hours.
Now remember, he's a cheap piggy pig, so he's gonna knock away the powerful weapon that RyuuKane has acquired. Of course, the princess is not gonna help us retrieve it, but Ryu is continuing with the big brain. He's stored that jump slash damage. He's got his hammer. He's a few crouch stabs away from completing phase 1.
And that's Ganon down for phase 1.
Yes, the fire barrier has been dispelled, but the princess is still standing helplessly beside. RyuuKane has reacquired his Master Sword.
Now is RyuuKane going to make me look bad, or is he just finishing in a 259.59?
It's going to be close with the cutscene, but has he made it? As the princess finally lends us her magical abilities, imbuing the Master Sword with her magical essence. A slicing and a dicing, RyuuKane will be serving us up some tasty, tasty bacon. Get your GGs in the chat.
Hell of a race from RyuuKane. Big GG's. Easy sub 3.
You were right on the money.
Was that a good race, or was that a good race?
And welcome in, RyuuKane. GG.
Yo, thanks.
GG's RyuuKane.
Yeah, some great plays out of you, man.
And here's GG to Hamsda that will be finishing up.
GG Ham.
GG's to you as well, Hamsda.
Yo, Hamsda, GG's.
So, yeah.
As we're waiting maybe for Hamsda to get his mic, take us through that play in Jabu Ryu where you get Dins, you do the 2 checks in Fire Temple, or Shadow Temple, rather.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I knew that I didn't have a lot of stuff in logic because Hover Boots locked fire, it locked shadow, it locked so much stuff. And I was like, okay, what do I have left? I have Barinade, the 2 checks in shadow, and then I have toilets and maybe something in water. I'm not even sure if I have the items in logic, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna save scum if needed. But yeah, I saw the smoky on Dead Hand. I was like, do I keep this or do I save scum? Because yeah, and I thought that the trade-off save scumming the key was better than going back on foot.
Yeah, I agree. That was a very impressive play. I haven't seen many like it.
Also wondering, how did you feel about the hints in the first minute?
Well, it's crazy thinking that you play for 15 freaking seconds and you already know the locations of 2 of your strengths.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to see Ham going back to Deep Fire. 3rd strength upgrade was on the compass chest.
Wait, really?
Really?
Oh, damn.
Like, you didn't even need 50 skulls, which is just horse shit.
Only if you have the spoiler lock.
I mean, yeah. But
Yeah,
like,
the thing is,
I was thinking about going back in, but was just pretty low on health after Wolf, so I was like, nah, can't be bothered with dealing with that out of logic garbage again.
yeah, I was thinking of going for it as well, but yeah, not being able to get even the shortcut, I was like, okay, I'm not getting there. It's
Yeah.
hover's locked. Yeah, bye.
Same.
Yeah, for 2 items, and one of them had to be a freaking strength.
Yeah. I think one real big difference in the 2 routing choices that we saw, Ryu managed to dodge Child Goron City for a long time. I assume you were thinking that Darunia had a slingshot for you, but we saw a lot earlier. Ham's got Rudo's letter, and I'm just guessing, Ham, that because you made such a late play to the ice cavern, you were really reluctant to jump back into Jabu.
I mean, I just didn't want to go there because I had nothing left in Kid. That's why. Like, it's just especially after clearing Spirit and seeing that it's Longshot locked. I was like, okay, no need to grab Storm, so can't be there. And so it meant Jabu was literally the only thing I had left in Kid, so I just cleared out Adult first, and yeah, as usual, how to last location. I had literally just Baronade left in the entire game, so not much you can do.
Ryu was at that spot. He picked up Rudo's letter right after, what was it? Clearing out GTG and all of that mess. And I think that was he had the boomerang at that point and a little more push into Jabu.
Yeah, as I said, I had nothing left in Kid, so there was no need to go there when I found it, because I didn't have the rank yet. And then when I found it in, I think I got it. When did I get it? I did go up there and I basically had my skull route already planned out, so
yeah.
I knew I was getting that 50 strength, and then I could just do forest and hopefully get whatever's in there. But yeah.
You guys were about 15 minutes apart from turning in that 50 skull reward. Ham at 2 hours 5 minutes, Ryu at 1 hour 50-ish. So you really had no excuses. Y'all really played hard for those 50 skulls.
Yeah, I was really
logically they were definitely required, right?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, because the strength in fire is at least strength locked.
Strength locked,
and hover's locked, and the other one is longshot locked, which is hover's locked as well.
Oh yeah, right. True. Well, I get it. Yeah, true.
Yeah, I was power farming the skulls, thinking that strength was possibly in logic, and then I find the boomerang in forest. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not in logic. And I'm like, okay, what else is left in the game? And then I remember about Goron CDM. This could be anything actually, but it has to be Rudo's letter, because it doesn't make sense for it not to be Rudo's letter, considering I had a slingshot in Ice Cavern, and Rudo's is the only thing that gives me 50 skulls in logic.
But you couldn't get the slingshot in Ice Cavern without Rudo's letter.
I did. But the thing is, I was looking for my logic. So, I knew that the Rudo's letter had to be somewhere, but I didn't know if it was actually Rudo's on Darunia, or it was something else that unlocked Rudo's letter.
Oh, I gotcha. Yep, that makes sense. Just proving why you deserve to be there, and I'm here in the commentary booth.
It takes some practice. You could do it as well.
Maybe someday. But you're not done with the Zooter yet. You can't switch over to a Wind Waker just yet. You still gotta wait for Sponge versus Ice 9. Any thoughts for that future matchup?
All right. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to fight against Sponge. Thing is, I think Sponge is probably one of the... I'd say Sponge is top 3 right now. So he's probably one of the best players in the freaking game. And yeah, it would be hype if I could play against him. But I'm not liking my odds here against him. Whereas Ice9, I've played him a bunch of times, and I think he's a pretty good and solid player. The thing with Ice9 is he does some really weird stuff sometimes, and I really like that. So would be a fun match as well.
Very cool. Well, if you want to take the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle, you're going to have to fight Salty Sponge eventually, unless he gets knocked out sooner. But I wish you the best of luck for that race. Still a whole bunch of races to get through this week. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this race. Unfortunately, Ham, that is it for you, Season 5, but it's always a pleasure to watch your race.
Fortunately.
Any,
At least I was happy with my execution this time. Like last time, I felt like I played a bit little, but yeah.
Any final thoughts on S5 with the path hints?
I'm personally really dislike path hints for 6 out of 6 mats. Because of how they get picked. If you have like early bottlenecky stuff, they basically always pick that stuff and rarely give you like deep ice rod type hints for the Link to the Past players. I think they're terrible for 6 out of 6 mats. But yeah. Like in the sea, they told me literally nothing again, the hints. They told me there was gonna be a slingshot and ice cavern, like, yay. Once I got the Darunia Riddles, that's what it.
No.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of them. They're great for something like RSL with like variable goals and stuff where they vary, but yeah, with how they get picked, not my cup of tea. But yeah, good luck with you. You can do
thanks,
it.
GG's.
I believe.
I'll see what I can do.
Now, well, Ham, you got plenty of time to join us here in the commentary booth and share more of your feelings towards the path hints. That just about wraps it up for us here.
Okay, so I want to give a shout out to our awesome trackers that was doing this race. Definitely with Hamsda's interesting internet at the beginning. Shout out to them. Follow them.
Yeah, sorry for that one.
Give them a follow. Shout out to our 2 commentators, Matt and August 40th, for stepping up and doing this. And sadly, we will not be seeing you in future matches, Hamsda, at least in Season 5. We hope to see you in Season 6.
And RSL.
And what August said. And then later tonight, we do have another OoTR match. We have, let's see, tonight it is going to be Mr. Mario 7788 versus Wooden Barrel at 7:20 Eastern PM right here on ZSR1. Isn't that cool? And your wonderful Graveyard, aka me, will be the one restreaming it, so I will make sure things are kept up to date. In the meantime, we are going to go over and raid the Silver Gauntlet.
Challenge Cup hype.